Hello, everyone, and welcome to Influential Leadership Tips. My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm John Hadley. And what I wanted to talk about today, Dave, I read what I thought was a really interesting interview on Don't Make Me Manage You, or Don't Expect Me to Manage You, by Tian Zhao, founder and chief executive of a service provider for subscription businesses. And he had some really interesting points that I thought really exhibit probably a lesser known aspect of leadership. He was asked to tell about his management and leadership approach. And he said, I tell everyone, I'm more of a leader, not a manager. So don't expect me to manage you. You have to manage me. And I don't do one-on-one meetings or performance reviews. I thought, well, that's a really interesting statement, because most of the places I've worked, they rely very heavily on one-on-ones as a way of keeping the leader and the manager and the people under them on the same page and surfacing things. So it went on about this, and one of the things he said, I found that one-on-ones just became a laundry list of issues. I want issues exposed in a team environment, because most of these things have to be worked out in a group setting. It's a really interesting point, because you get a lot more perspective. You get a lot more depth to the issue when you do that. It went on to say, if I have to do performance reviews with you, something's wrong. We should be on the same page at all given times. We should have shared goals and shared accountability. And when the job is at a point where it's gone beyond your capabilities, we're both going to know, and we'll work it out.
That's counterculture, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's a really interesting approach. And he goes on, we talk about, as leaders, we should be thinking about what you want, how can I help your career move forward, and so on. He says, I don't wake up in the morning thinking about what you need to be successful, what your obstacles are, and how I can remove them. I'm out there talking to customers. If you want help in those things, let's have a conversation. I'm always there to help, but I'm not actively thinking about it. And that's really interesting. It's a way of putting a lot of accountability and onus on you, the employee, as opposed to me, the leader. And I think if you can create a culture where people understand this is the way we operate, I am happy to help you with anything you need. I'm happy to remove obstacles when you need them, but you have to come and tell me. Because I'm going to be focused on everything we need to do to succeed. And I'm going to expect you to have the maturity to come and tell me when you need help in succeeding. Is that an interesting environment?
Yeah, it's a little bit provocative and controversial. I mean, as I'm listening to it, it doesn't sound incredibly nurturing to me.
No, not at all.
But it does emphasize the spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can be over nurturing and almost codependent with your direct reports or the people that report to you. Or you can be kind of really detached from them. So I'm not saying he's wrong in this. It's probably worked well for him. It is a style, and he is communicating it. So
right, I think that's the real key to it. Because I think back, one of the traps that I sometimes fell into was that I wanted to be very nurturing, but I got busy, and I probably didn't communicate this message. I was very open to helping anyone with any issues they faced, but I didn't actively go to them and say, okay, tell me, what issues do you face that I can remove? Now, if I had said, this is going to be my style, I'm perfectly happy to help you with anything, but you have to tell me, I think that would have been a lot more successful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what's the tip, you think, for our viewers here?
I think I would think in terms of the spectrum that you were just talking about. Where are you on the spectrum of actually actively looking for what people need, having lots of one-on-ones and digging deep into every issue versus relying on them to bring the issues to the surface to you more. And have you communicated where you are on that spectrum with your employees? Are they on the same page? If someone went to them and said, how does your boss operate? How do you need to, when an issue comes up, how does that happen? How do you deal with that? Would they?
People requested the cat again, so
That's right.
got that met.
Would they know exactly where you are? Because I think that's the most important point. Whether you're at the extreme he is, or the opposite end of the spectrum, it's critical that your employees know exactly where you are, where you should be, how they should be interacting with you on that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. And I think there's more we could talk about there, which we will in future issues, in terms of a lot of this comes from our Pride-Based Leadership Program in terms of that spectrum we're talking about. And that's a great tip, John.
So we'll look forward to getting more into these things with you in the future. And in the meanwhile, be influential.
Take care.